Hi everyone. In this video, we'll see how you can prepare for the Proctored NPTEL exam of problem solving through programming in C. So without wasting further time, let's get started. Alright, first of all, let's see the criteria to get a certificate. A lot of NPTEL learners keep asking these type of questions like what are the passing marks in the Proctored exam, or I have submitted only these many assignments, am I eligible for the certificate? So I hope you will get the answers to these kind of queries in this slide. As you know, it is mandatory to take the Proctored NPTEL exam to get an NPTEL certificate. But just appearing for the Proctored exam alone won't work. You have to achieve at least a 40% score in the final Proctored exam. Okay? And along with that, your average assignment score should be at least 40%. And how do you calculate this average assignment score? Because NPTEL considers only best 8 assignments out of the 12 assignments given in the course. The remaining 4 assignments are just ignored. They are not even considered. So just take out 8 assignments out of the 12 assignments given in the course in which you have scored your best. Okay? Leave the remaining 4 assignments as if they don't exist and calculate the average of these 8 assignments which you have selected. The average mark should be at least 40%. Alright. So to summarize, to get a certificate, your Proctored exam score should be at least 40% and your assignment score should also be at least 40%. You have to fulfill both of these conditions. In case you are not able to fulfill any of these conditions, you won't be eligible for the certificate. Alright, so keep this criteria in your mind. Well, the answers to assignments are easily available on my YouTube channel. So scoring a 40% in the assignment won't be an issue for you. So let's try to shift our focus to Proctored exam alone. Okay, so here is my certificate for this course. And I appeared for the Proctored exam of this course, Problem Solving Through Programming in C, in 2021. And I completed the course with a consolidated score of 90%. So I will be sharing all the information based on my experience. Okay, let's have a look at the exam pattern first. The first thing is the type of the questions. Okay. Many of you people have these kind of queries like what type of questions will be there in the exam. Whether they would be objective or programming questions where we would have to program and get the test cases passed or what. So let me make this very clear. The question paper would be entirely objective. There would be only MCQ, MSQ and fill in the blanks type questions. No programming questions, no test cases, nothing. Okay. The type of the questions would be exactly like what you see in your weekly assignments quizzes. That means there could be MCQ in which only one of the option is correct. There could be MSQ, multiple select questions in which more than one option could be correct. Or there could be fill in the blanks type questions, fill-ups in which you have to enter the answer to the question using the on-screen keyboard. Okay. Well, most of the questions would be MCQs and the remaining would be fill in the blanks. There would be hardly any MSQ type question where more than one option could be correct. But of course, it is a possibility, that's why I mentioned it right here, that there could be multiple select type questions in the exam. Okay. Another important point to note is that there won't be any negative marking. So make sure you attempt all the questions. Don't leave any question unattempted. The question paper will comprise of 3 sections. Section A, B and C. Okay. Section A will consist of 10 questions of 1 mark each and the difficulty level would be easy and most of the questions would be directly from your assignments and most of the questions would be MCQ type. Section B would consist of 15 questions of 2 marks each and the difficulty level would be moderate. And section C would consist of 20 questions of 3 marks each and the difficulty level would be on the tougher side. In section C, most of the questions would be fill in the blanks type questions. And the questions would not be like the assignments, they would be a little bit on a tougher side. And all these sections together will make a total of 100 marks. Well, this was the exam pattern when I took the exam and this is subject to change as per the instructor. Okay, one kind of variation to this exam pattern could be in section A, they could give you 10 questions of 2 marks. In section B, 15 questions of 2 marks. And in section C, 25 questions of 2 marks. So these will all add up to a total of 100 and all the questions would be of 2 marks. This kind of variation could also be there, but most probably the exam pattern would be like this. You don't really need to worry about any kind of variation in the exam pattern. More or less it would be like this. Okay. And now the next point is how the questions will be distributed. Well, 40% of the questions would be directly from your assignments as it is, no change. Okay. And most of these questions you will find in either section A or section B. And another 30% of the questions would be similar to that of assignments, but not exactly the same. So what they can do is they could pick a question from your assignments and modify it a little bit, like a change in some data or options of the question or some header file or function call, and they would put it into your exam paper. Or what they could do is they would find some similar questions based on similar concepts and they would put into the question paper. Okay. And the remaining 30% of the questions would be different from your assignments and they would be difficult also. And most of these questions you will find in section C of the question paper. Okay. And now the most important question, how to prepare for the exam? Well, the answer to this question depends on how much you want to score on the exam. One situation could be that you just want passing marks so that you get a certificate. If that's your goal, then here's what you should do. First of all, make yourself comfortable with the assignments. Okay. Bring yourself up to the level so that you are able to solve all the weekly quiz assignments all by yourself without any kind of help. As I have already said, almost half of the paper would be based on your assignments, quiz assignments. So you should be able to solve each and every question of the assignments all by yourself. Okay. And cramming won't work. You must understand how we get the answer to this question and how we find the output of a program. So learn and revise assignments multiple times. Okay, the answers of quiz assignments should be at your fingertips. The next thing to do is to revise the lecture slides or PPT provided in the course, which I will link in the description. Or you can revise any other C programming notes that you may have, like your college notes or any other decent C programming notes which you made when you studied C programming. Watch course videos only if you have time, because watching each and every lecture of this course would take a lot of time. So what you can do is watching videos selectively. Like if you get stuck at some topic, then only watch the course video of that particular topic. And you can also follow the NPTEL exam preparation series videos, which I will upload on my this YouTube channel, where I will solve all the weekly assignments in detail, providing insights on which questions are important for the exam and what are the tips and tricks to memorize certain concept. More on that later in this video. Okay. I have provided link to the previous year's weekly assignments in the description. Solving those previous year quizzes will help you get a better exposure to the variety of questions which could be there in the examination. Alright. Well, if you want to score high in the exam, then there are a few extra things that you should be doing. Keep in mind that these steps are to be followed in addition to those we have discussed in the previous slide. That means, first you should solve all assignments, previous year assignments, and revise lecture notes. Once you are done with that, here's what you should be doing. Try to study the topics in depth. You can write down the topics covered in this course and study them individually from some other sources like YouTube videos or reference book. Another way to prepare is to practice objective or fill in the blanks type questions based on some tough topics like pointers, array pointer duality, strings in C, dynamic memory allocation, etc. You can find these kind of MCQs anywhere on the internet, or I will add a link in the description for that as well. Here we have this chapter-wise weightage table. I have indicated the weightage of each chapter in the final exam along with the corresponding difficulty level. This is only tentative and may not be the exact situation, but more or less it will be like this, because there are some topics based on which a question is short in the exam, like Runga-Kutta method or some other numerical method like bisection method or pointer array duality, structure of array and array of structures, etc. Now let's talk a little more about NPTEL exam preparation series. I am uploading a series of videos called NPTEL exam preparation series. There will be a playlist on my this YouTube channel with that name. And in those videos, I will be solving all the questions of all the assignments in detail. With that, you will be able to understand all the concepts better. And the explanation I will provide there in those videos will help you solve similar questions that may come in the NPTEL exam. I will also share some tips and tricks to help you memorize the concepts and formulas better. And last but not the least, I will discuss the important questions and concepts most likely to be asked in the exam. Now there are a few things to remember on the day of examination. Remember to take the following documents along with you at the examination center. First is your admit card, which they call as hall ticket, and your Aadhaar card or any other identity proof. Without these documents, you won't be allowed to enter in the examination center. And paper for rough work would be provided then and there at the examination center, but you have to carry your own pen and pencil for the rough work. You would be provided with an on-screen scientific calculator for doing the calculations, because there would be a question on numerical methods like Runge-Kutta method or bisection method or something. So I will leave a link in the description for that, and you can check out that calculator and make yourself familiar with it. And all the exam day guidelines are currently showing up on your screen, so you can pause the video and have a look at this. Make sure you read all these instructions carefully. Well, that's all I have for you today in this video. Thanks for watching, and I wish you the best of luck with the exam. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button. If you still have any doubts, feel free to ask me in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep watching, keep learning.